Hello, Internet. This is Lambo coming to you from my nerdery. Once again, giving you another video of another 3D terrain board that I built for my personal Gloomhaven campaign. This is Scenario 14, The Frozen Hollow. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what's in the Frozen Hollow, monsters, terrain layout, anything, don't watch the video, because I'm going to show you everything that I built to represent what is in that level. So, if you're still here, I'm assuming you do want to see what's in the Frozen Hollow. And this is what I did. I'm going to give you the obligatory overhead map shot of the Frozen Hollow. That's what it looked like on paper. And my terrain board can twist and turn because it's on a turntable. This is what it looks like from overhead, if I can get that whole thing. It's kind of a big scenario. Okay, so let's get down and I'll give you a good shot of the whole thing. So I'm going to utilize this turntable, which makes gaming much easier for everyone in the party, since that way we can just spin the table to whatever part of the table we want closest to us when it's our turn. And yeah, there it goes. It's a pretty good looking board. A lot of white, the word frozen, so I just went with it and painted the whole thing a frozen blue ice colored, board. Even though I guess inside a cave, unless it's an ice cave, it really would be like just dark, but whatever. I haven't been able to play Gloomhaven for about 2 months since I had Halloween come up, and then I do a big haunted house for Halloween in my place. And then I got commissioned to build a PAX demo board. If you want to watch that video, check it out right here. With the magic YouTube, I linked it. But I finally got to build my own campaign level again, and this is what I came up with. So, let me talk terrain. What did I use? So, the terrain itself, let me steady the camera, put it down so you can see. Okay, starting the first area here. Stay. Okay, sorry, just trying to make it no shaky camera. First room here, we have predominantly Hyground 3D terrain tiles. They did a Kickstarter last year for a bunch of hex terrain. It's primarily geared for players of the game called HeroScape, but I kickstarted it, and then I shrink down the files to about 85%. And I do that because that matches my Hearst Arts terrain that I started working with when I started doing 3D tiles. So 85% matches Hearst Arts, but their terrain tiles have a lot of cool varieties. What I really like about their terrain tiles is the fact that it can go up and down in level. So I can go vertical, as you can see, building up with these columns and implementing elevation into my terrain boards, and I love that. So as far as the look of the going vertical, being able to add stalactites down there, these little, this cave entryway, and stalactites there and stuff, and rock toppings and all of that. I really, really like the look of that. The problem I have with the terrain, when it shrinks down to 85%, some of the structural integrity of the tiles, as they're meant to clip onto these bases that are there, they lose some of that, and I break clips all the time. So it's not quite as reusable as I would like, shrunken down at 85%. I'm willing to bet at 100% Hyground terrain tiles are probably fantastic, and I bet a lot of the people who do HeroScape have no problems reusing their terrain. But I have a hard time being able to reuse a lot of what I build out of Hyground stuff for the base clips that the tiles clip onto, because they break all the time. And I'm assuming that's just because 85% you lose some of what the structural integrity of the file that they designed it for. So don't let that dissuade you. If you think it looks cool, you don't mind having to deal with broken base clips, go for it. Hyground terrain, it looks fantastic. Okay, what else did I use? Let's spin it around over here. Alright, so the walls, in addition to Hyground, these are Printable Scenery 3D prints. It's dark caverns. So you can get some of those if you like these walls. I just painted them up to look like ice, obviously. Oh, and for the Hyground, if you're into the Hyground stuff, the two sets that I'm using for this terrain build are the rock set and then the ice set. Okay, continuing on, these stalagmites, because they're on the ground, stalactites hang tight to the ceiling. That's how I remember it. Stalagmites. Those are done by a modeler I pulled off a Thingiverse. His name was so FOR63. Modeled up some cool looking stalagmites that I printed on my 3D printer. I got 2 Ender 3s sitting right over there at my print station. I print up all my terrain over there. Let's see, what else we got? I'm going to start with terrain. I'll get minis in a second, so don't feel like I'm forgetting the minis. We have the fog door, which blended right in with the walls themselves, but it's a fog door. That's a Robogon. It's a Robogon print, right? Yeah, that's Robogon. Robogon does some great Gloomhaven accessories. So that's a fog door. Other Robogon stuff I have are it's got this trap here. Here we go. Let's hit this side. There's a Robogon trap. I've also got a Robogon chest right there. All great Robogon stuff. In addition, also these rock pillars, these also came out of the Hyground ice cave or ice set, and I just enlarged the size on those by quite a bit because they come in really small normally. But I wanted ice pillars. Any of the Robogon stuff in here? Nope. Okay, I do have some scenic elements. Here is a rubble pile by Virtually Jason. That is a really shaky camera. I'm going to get off that. So let me back up so it doesn't shake so much. Okay. Sorry. Virtually Jason. He does a lot of cool Gloomhaven stuff on Thingiverse as well. Uses rubble piles. So thank you, Virtually Jason. And I think that's all the... Oh, and then I have some Hearst arts. I was running out of time. We hadn't played Gloomhaven in a couple months. My group was itching to play. I was itching to play. And so at the last minute, instead of waiting to just print out more tiles, I went and just reused a bunch of my old Hearst arts, cave wall or cavern wall stuff, and just painted it up to look icy. And they look great. So yeah, don't knock Hearst arts. It's always good for stuff. All right, figures. Let's go check out minis. Let's go back to the beginning. Turntable, man. Gotta love it. So, in this corner, we have our hounds and wolves. So, the regular hounds, my non-elites, I am using, these are Song of Ice and Fire, the war game, miniature tabletop game by CMON. And those are Bolton Bastard Girls hounds. Then for the elite hounds, I use these fantastic 3D prints. They are by a modeler who goes by the name of Printed Obsession. I really like his work, and he is found at My Mini Factory. That's where I found his stuff. So that's his wolf pack. Then we go on to back in there. We have what I'm using for living spirits, and these are from the CMON board game Zombicide. This is the No Rest for the Wicked expansion, and those are Spectral walkers. I just painted them up, and I think they make fantastic. They make fantastic living spirits. All right, so let's spin this way around here. Oh, and then for our ice demons, I got 2 models I'm using. So these right here. This is an ice golem. It is, oh, focus that. Okay, that is an ice golem. That is a Rocket Pig Games 3D print. And I really like him because I got a resin printer. I got an Epax X1, and this is one of the first things I printed. And I love the detail on the X1. And I know the difference. This was printed on my Creality, which is still a good printer. But you can see the layer lines, the detail in the face, not quite as crisp. And then with that guy, so much smoother. No layer lines. And the face detail, if it's going to show up, is really good, comparatively. So, those are my elites. use them as ice demons. And then, oh, that's way out of focus. And for my standards, this is a 3D print as well, also printed on my e-packs. It's a resin print. I really like this sculpt, and this is by a modeler who goes, let's see, I wrote that down. His name is Cross Lances. I found it on CG Trader, and paid a couple bucks, got the files, and printed them up, and they work really well for ice demons. So those are my standards, and I have my elites. And I think that is all the miniatures. And yeah, did I cover everything? I'm pretty sure I did. So, thank you for watching this video and viewing how I did the Frozen Hollow, which I did all this work to build it. I usually assume we're going to lose at least once, and we ended up barely beating this, but beating on a first-time playthrough, which is really cool, but a little bittersweet, because then I have to immediately start building a new level. So as a terrain builder, sometimes I don't mind losing. Not only because it looks cool, and it's, it'd be not too bad to play on it again, but then it gives me a break to focus on other stuff. So anyway, back to the grind. I also have my terrain that I build on the side for a Talisman Saber terrain. If you want to own your own set of 3D printed terrain that isn't this, but is also still fantastic looking, check it out here. Shameless plug. It's terrain I make with another fantastic modeler who goes by the name of Jay Carter on Facebook, or he also has a YouTube channel, which I'm going to link right there. Pow! And yeah, Talisman Saber terrain. Otherwise, I appreciate you checking out my channel and the terrain builds that I do for my personal Gloomhaven group. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'm going to leave links to a description in the description for all the models and miniatures I used for this. And as always, happy gaming.